Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back. It's Sunday again, so you know what that means? Sunday Stock Talk. So we're going to go over the stock market's expected moves. We're going to break down this on the S&P, the NASDAQ, Grandpa Dow, and we'll do it for the Russell. He's still part of the group for now. I just can't. I don't know why. Trump brought back tariffs. Well, first they were deemed illegal, and he said, well, I found another way to do it. I was going to put a 10% tariff on for the next 150 days, and he came back and said, you know what? 15%. So I guess talk about that, see the market's overall reaction. After that, we're going to open up not only a Charizard, but a Mega Charizard. I don't know if he can fly faster or what, but he can do things faster. So we'll jump into the charts. We're going to break some things down. All right, so let's kick it off. We're going to start off with, what's the overall dollar doing? Dollar opened up, gap down, selling off. I'm short the dollar. I'm actually long the U.S. dollar, Jap. Euro USD is what I'm actually long. Yeah. Starting there, long that, send it. Just long the zone. I have a stop right below here. It's actually been a while since I've been in a Forex play, it feels like. So I hope this absolutely sends it. I hope the dollar melts off. Bitcoin hanging out. Now, this is a weekly zone that it dropped down into, and so far we've spent a couple weeks in there. Not the best look. You know, the buyers probably should have shown up by now. That's my only concern with that one. Looking at the S&P, largely sideways. This is a weekly chart. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 month. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 months. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe 3 months we've been in this range. 3 months. We've done nothing. Kind of sideways. I don't know. I do have puts. I'm hoping. Not that I'm hoping SPY goes down. I haven't sold any of my longs, but you know nothing's changed from everything I've said from January to now. Except I just added the puts on Friday and Thursday. That'd be these 2 days right here. I was kind of thinking we'd break this zone. I was kind of thinking more of a bear flag. Friday we just went zone to zone, and then coincidentally tariffs come out. Yeah, a little bit of a gap down. We're selling off now. That's a pretty decent sell-off. That's of the Sunday open right now. So some pretty decent movement. I gotta say, if you're bullish, you certainly don't want this bright yellow zone breaking. Looking at the expected moves for the week, 675 to 703. I'm thinking we're at least going to be down here to the bottom side. Casey jumping in with those links. So the Patreon, again, if you just want to see everything that I'm buying and selling, just go check that out. I posted in there lately, and like you guys got the alert the other day. It was HIMS. HIMS is the new one. Shout out to everybody that bought VRT with me. Bought it at 174 exactly a month ago. It was January 20th. January 20th, right here in the zone. And then absolutely sent it. We ended up selling it at 243, so it might continue now and go up forever. But it was just quick, easy money. So I like to lock that in. Look at the NASDAQ. Ooh, now we're questioning things. Are we going to break up or down? Now, I will show off where I got this pennant from. Technically, that's a close above. I think the trend line nerds might give you a hard time for that. But, oh, did my lines move? Or at the time was that? Either way, here's what this trend line's telling us. Lower highs. Okay, the story hasn't changed. God, I need this out of the way so I can get that dot. There we go. All right, so all right, send it. There's our lower high situation. This is why I really hate trend lines. You can just change them anytime you want. What do we grab? Wicks. Must have been on candles. Man, I don't know. Either way, overall, what is that trend line telling you? What's the story? This story right here is telling us lower highs. This one's telling us higher lows. So eventually that will break. I do think it's going to. Typically, when I see this kind of pattern, when I see people talk about this, the one that's been your friend a little bit longer is probably the one that's going to win. So I do think we break these lows. The bears would call that a bear flag. Tech ultimately really just killing you on the sideways. If you had any leaps in the Qs, you're just watching it slowly burn away like an incense stick, like except it doesn't smell in your house. Let's see what the tariffs do. I think it's just gonna hurt things. And what's gonna hurt things, honestly, is probably just gonna be the uncertainty. That's probably it. We've been in the tariff world for a while now, but just the uncertainty of what's he going to fire off with next, what's going to happen on the macro side of things, what's next? Who's going to get on there and just turbo tweet away? As far as the Qs go, 593 to 624 is going to be your expected move. Yeah, again, I'm still thinking to the downside. Lowry says, hello, everyone from the Grand Bahamas. She's in our group. She likes to just flex. She's balling out of control. Going home tomorrow. Safe travels, Lori. Can't wait to see you back. Grandpa Dow looks the strongest, high or low, except this right here. It's a zone until not, but I do think once that breaks, that's going to be a rough thing to that's going to be a rough trend line to break. I think a lot of people are going to, trend line or not, a rough trend, breaking that, we're at least headed here, and I think a lot of the bulls will be hopeful that it holds right here at this zone and at least keeps it sideways. Nvidia earnings is a good turning point. Nvidia could save the market. Maybe the market goes down, Nvidia saves it. Or vice versa. Maybe the market's up thinking, don't worry, we have NVIDIA, and then NVIDIA comes out and says, not today, guys. We're doing good, but we can't save everyone. And then it sells off. It sucks, because I'd love to be here and just sell a bunch of hype. But for every heads, there's a tails. It's a coin flip regardless. That's why it's so important not to stick to one side. And that's why a lot of people lose a lot. Just think of the narrative that gets pushed around a lot in news. Someone's making money, and they're not pushing out news articles, so you're smarter. There's always a narrative involved. Sometimes it's to someone's argument. Sometimes there's just legitimate news of, hey, what's going on? We want to know. But then there's just, hey, let's pump this out because we need them to think this. We got to create that fear for an entry or exit liquidity to get out of things. Hazard says, down Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on tariff economic fear, then green Thursday on NVIDIA, saves the market, headlines, then take profit Friday. So a lot of sell-off, quick little breather, and then another sell-off. Grandpa Dow, as far as your expected moves, didn't really change much. Let's line those up. 487 to 505. What's the Russell doing? It's crazy to think that the Russell is holding up better. Still the overall kind of lower high, higher low story. And just like the S&P playing that zone game, we can just widen it out for you. A lot of just zone to zone, zone to zone, zone to zone, zone to zone. We're kind of right back here again. If that breaks, the next stop is here. Hoping for like maybe a solid day before it just breaks and goes sideways. Small cap is just not where I want to be at right now. Not with interest rates, not with uncertainty. You just don't want to be the up and coming, the starter. You're starting in a rough patch right now. As far as the expected moves for the Russell itself, we got, come on, I'm trying to move it. There we go. 257 to 271. Not bad. Let's talk about Tesla. Someone talked about a pennant breaking on Tesla. What did we have? We had right here kind of thing. Ultimately, here's what I'm watching for Tesla. Now we have these two yellow zones right here, but we broke out and got to there one time. Very horizontal, and we're at the horizontal. We're at the bottom of it. Now it already bounced, did make that lower high, and we're here again. So Tesla bulls really need to show up this week and do something, or you're just going to see that confidence start to fade, and that's going to be a strong level to breaking this right here after everything the market's been through itself, using the market as an indicator for buyer and seller confidence. Tesla sat out a lot of that, and the buyer showed up at that $400 mark. This will be my last week if we are below 4. I've had 430 puts sold on Tesla for the last 3 weeks. Now I've gotten assigned. I wanted 300 more shares. This will be my last week getting that if we do close below 430. And honestly, I'm probably not buying if this zone breaks for a bit. I want to see just how low to go. I'll probably just follow the trend down. When that finally turns around, then I might do something more with it. In the meantime, I will probably sell some 435 calls. At least in the last 200 shares that I got, I'll sell some 435 calls for this week. So if it absolutely sends it, we get above that 1 standard deviation. I got paid to buy it at 430. I got paid to sell it at 435. So I made $5 a share, just on share appreciation and then the premium on top of that. So it's still not being a good play. Usually I don't sell that close to at the money. But for this one, I will. Let's see let's go over the dip buys. Amazon, thinking is a good dip buy. A dip buy is in I'm buying, but there's no rush, if that makes sense. Microsoft, let's get back there. Amazon right now is at 210. We got the expected move at 218 and 201. We'll call it 202. I'm thinking that got beat down a lot, so hopefully it gets to the downside. But right now, I'm probably thinking it might hang out in that zone for a little bit. Microsoft sitting right now at 397. It's a sub 400. The standard deviation puts you right at 410. And then the downside, we'll call it 385. Whew. Those two ones I'm definitely accumulating. Again, like I said, first 9 months of the year, name of the game is going to be accumulation, which means I expect more downside. There's just no need to be all in right now. There's no rush. Should things turn around, this is almost selling a FOMO story. But if things turn around now, I want to already be in. Oftentimes when things finally do hit a bottom, there's this massive green day. Should be one of the top performing green days, and that's when we'll see the buyers are in. I don't want to miss out on that. So not speaking from a place of FOMO, I just want to accumulate, and then when that starts happening, that might be my signal that hey. Grab the last of what you want because it's time to rock and roll. At the same time, you don't want to go all in and then just you don't want to start being red in 500 shares and then watch what 1,000 or 1,500 shares being red does to you. I added to Adobe and PayPal. Can't go lower, but good levels. I'd be careful on that. Definitely. I mean, Adobe broke some serious levels. Now, Netflix is one that, again, I'm accumulating. There will be I'll go accumulating. Imagine grabbing 1-2 shares a week. That's accumulating. Just kind of nothing. Now, in that same, if you're buying 1 to 2 shares a week as far as your accumulation game, when we get to this zone right here, it's 100 shares. Like that's, when we get to a decent level like that, when I say I'm adding on, that's the difference between an accumulation versus grabbing. Netflix doing a great job selling off. It's one that I like. I do think it's going to come back. It's just how much do I want to put in? And how much do I want to watch go red until it does turn around? Because that's assuming it does. And everything I buy is assuming it comes back. The risk that I'm taking is that it doesn't. And that's what sucks. We watch plenty of YouTubers go a little too heavy on one particular ticker and it just never comes back. And it ruins them. Jeremy will never not be made fun of for Tattooed Chef because of how much he put in there because he really thought it was going to turn around. Jeremy from Financial Education. Now, he's also bought other crap tickers like GoPro and there's been quite a few. But, the ones you really try to hammer in, man, you'll be remembered for those. And your account will remember them too if you're just over allocated. So you want to avoid doing that because then it quickly negates the Teslas that you bought. You called Amazon at the right time, and I'm not talking about Jeremy, I'm talking about anybody. You make these fantastic calls, and that's cool and all, but man, you grab one Titanic and put a few too many passengers on there, they'll forget all about the good stuff. Okay, so Mara was one that I bought, and I sold the 850 shares for this Friday. Now, again, that was a premium play, so I grabbed some Mara, and then I instantly sold it. Sold the 850 shares for next Friday. If they get called away, so be it. That was kind of the play. If it stays there, and then I get an extra free week, it's fine. But because it's selling off, doing a good job selling off, it's fine. That's why I wanted to just let fate decide. We're kind of on that trend line, so I wanted to make my decision. Now my shares are down, and when I say I'm down in my shares, I'm not counting about all the premium of like calls that I've sold against it. I'm undoubtedly, if we were to go to my average cost of Mara, I'm negative. I got paid to own Mara by now. But in my books, I'm down on my Mara play, and I just have a bunch of extra money in my account. Now, that certainly did bring the average down, but if they get called away, it's just going to look funky because my average got brought down but instantly sold, which is just actually a big L. Ask Jeremy about Dropbox. What's the TLDR on Dropbox? Let's see. What was one more? Oh, Nvidia. Let's talk about Nvidia real quick. And then we ready? We ready to get our Pokemon on? We ready to be the cool YouTubers? One day I want to be like me, Kevin. I already showed you. We're opening up a Charizard box. We've gone over the expected moves. Gone over my opinion. Nvidia has earnings this week. Nvidia largely sideways, and we're kind of at the upper end of the. Now, anytime there's a horizontal pattern, the sooner you can take advantage of that, or sooner you can recognize and take advantage of it, the better. And when we're horizontal like this, middle or below, I'm a buyer. You know, and middle and above, I'm like, I'll probably just hang out a little bit. Every time they thought, here's the breakout, here's the breakout, here's the breakout. Oh, here it really is. No, this time for real, we're breaking out. We're going to break out again. This time for real, earnings is going to be the reason. And earnings just might be the kicker that absolutely does break it out. And we might just have a bunch of red days that get down here. Earnings come up. All of a sudden, we're at the bottom, and it sends it right back to the top. Why meet Kevin? It was just something we started doing on the channel, Lori. Just at the end, I said I was just going to open up a pack. And I gotta say it's a nice break from all the, because stocks you can't have any emotions or nothing like that, nothing in it. So just taking a break from it kind of makes it a little bit more lighthearted. Plus, we got to see what the cards say. These Pokemon cards double as tarot cards. Is it tarot or Terra? Anyway, if we pull a fire energy, markets are obviously going to be red. Of course, right now, we are looking for blue or yellow. We pull a blue energy, Nvidia's going here. We pull a yellow energy, Nvidia's going here. If we pull some greens, some grass type, markets are going to be green. You know, we're going to let the cards decide. You guys ready? Let's check out Adobe real quick. Let me know in the chat right now. Are we ready to get our pack on? Adobe absolutely melting down. Of course, after that, I do have to get to my Zoom session, so it will be at the end that we open up packs. Gosh, where's the next? There's the Rona crash, so we're below that. Man, a lot of value investors are going to get absolutely trapped and decimated. Right there. I guess I'd be interested in Adobe if it got to 213 again. Harley cards. I didn't update the expected moves on Nvidia. Thank you for that. Sorry, I know I'm slinging these charts around. I'm still trying to get used to the touchscreen. Where is the... There's the red. I need that line. There it is. Okay. Lower end of 177. We're somewhere in here. Is that the... There it is. So it's right there at that zone. That's why we couldn't see it. So 202 is going to be the expected move for NVIDIA's upper end. So it's this zone or that zone. Actually, let me know in the comments down below. If you're watching this as a recording, where is NVIDIA ending? Which zone is NVIDIA touching? Is it going to be the 200 zone or the 180 zone? It'd be wild to see both. Both is an answer. There's been plenty of times we've seen both. I want to be hopeful. I really do. Gosh, I really want to be hopeful. Who knows what it means if it's not. Nvidia carries some weight. I will say I'm going to play Nvidia this week. I'm going to take an earnings play. I am going to buy shares, not options contracts. It's going to cost a little bit more capital. But I'll probably have to have a limit sell order somewhere up here. I'm going to have it like 199, and I want to do that just so I can manage it after hours. Combining Pokemon and stocks has always been the move. We call this a market disruptor. Probably the best decision ever made. It also takes me from having 2 channels to 1. How many people here? 63 people. How many people hit the thumbs up button for me? Do me a huge solid real quick and hit the thumbs up. Thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Don't you hate it when... Guys, I could start doing the subscribe pitch. You guys ever watch Diary of a CEO? He's like whispering, and he's like, my crew gave me a script, but I'm not going to read it, which is 100% the script. Could we just please, and like they just beg to subscribe, like just hit the button, guys, do the thing. That's it. Lowry has short puts at 175. I think those are going to be fine. Honestly, if I had 175 put, I could sell 175 puts, no problem. I'm probably going to copy that. If Nvidia has a red day, I'll sell. It's right at a zone, bottom of that horizontal level, and it's Nvidia. I'm not taking a loss on that. Lisa says she's already done. Should have put Mewtwo in the thumbnail. Maybe. We'll have to do a separate thumbnail, a separate playlist. Plus, we got all the cool stuff. Charizard. Now, it evolves into a Charizard, and then they get extra mad, and he grows extra wings. I don't know if that's for agility or speed. But it's a Mega Charizard. And I don't have a knife. Hang on. Let's go. How big do you size per trade? Depends on the stop. I always base it all off the stop. I typically risk about $2,000 on a trade. By the time I assume my stop loss is going to get hit. I fully aware of it bouncing past my stop, which sucks. So if it's something I think could gap, well above my or below my my stop, then I would take that into consideration. Sorry guys, make sure we're all crispy. Oh, so these tins have got a little mixture here. Phantasmal Flames, Mega Evolution, Journey Together. Not even what I wanted to open today. Well, so we're looking for another... I guess we're looking for another Charizard card. There's a Charizard card that's $600. If we do pull that, Nvidia's going to be green. Just saying. That's your sign. Let's get right. There we go. What are we thinking? What are we pulling? Who's doing what? Let me adjust my... There we go. I can still see the chat. Netflix is approaching the top of 2021 Rona crash. Yeah, there's quite a few tickers that are. Okay, so NVIDIA is going to hit the blue zone. So NVIDIA is going to go one zone up. If that's true, then we got to open these cards forever. Pelipper, Larvesta. Snorlax is supposed to be sleeping. He looks angry. Mega Evolution. Apple 165 call next week expiring. Is that a sold or a bought call? Is that only futures or options as well? Yeah, it's all my trades. Ooh. So markets are going to be red, but NVIDIA's hitting that blue zone above. So we're getting some insight here. We really are. Ultra Ball Dialga. I don't know how to keep these separated. Okay, now this is where we can pull the $600 Charizard card, and we don't have to worry because the markets will be green. Who's taking these? What's funny is I bet there's not a lot of people scanning my videos for those. Now there's a yellow zone. So Nvidia's going to hit both the yellow and the blue zone. I can't wait to see how this plays out. One of these weeks it's going to absolutely play out, and then I'm just going to say I told you guys so. Remember that one time it was in the cards? Carvana Mischievous, we got Empoleon EX. Little extra star pattern there. Last pack magic. Is okay, so it's a 165 bot call. Let me pull my chart up on that real quick. It's a bot call. Wait, you must mean 265. Apple 165 call next week. I know you guys can't see the charts. The expected move right now is 272 to 256. Right now it's in at 264. There's a zone right there at 270, though. Let's make it happen. Final zone fighting. We're going to fight for that green. We're fighting for that. NVIDIA's going to fight the market. That's what it is. NVIDIA's going to hit the zones. Market's going to be red, and then NVIDIA's going to throw some haymakers. Charmeleon, more red. Seal, and we got Grimsley's move. What he's saying is he's going to take some zone plays. Markets are going to move. That's clearly what it means. Grimsley is a market mover. So go ahead and show me your face, Grimsley. As a market mover himself, he's wearing red. He's got a red collar. He's pointing to his red collar. It's in the heart of the cards, as someone said. So there you have it, ladies and gents. The markets are probably going to be red. It's not up to me. I didn't do it. All right, but I got to wrap it up here. How's the flow of the new streams going? Let me know. I'm interested in all feedback. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't do it in the live stream because I'm about to close it. Let me know once the video uploads. I always appreciate everybody subscribing. More importantly, the thumbs up or any interaction. But I will see you beautiful people Wednesday for sure. And any other time if you have the notifications on.